This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Media. I'm your host, the Nice Excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Ed. Happy Monday evening to you. Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
I'm shocked that you did not work today.
Yeah, they gave, because I did 5 days already, like Sunday was my 5th day. And so they got to give us 2 days off, because now it's just like we cannot work we can work 6 days, but we got to take the 7th day off. We can't work 7 days straight. It's a law in Illinois now. Yeah, so they gave me this Monday and Tuesday off again. It is going to change next week, but yeah, I got Martin Luther King Day off, and I couldn't go nowhere because it was like -7 degrees, and I'm like, I'm not gonna
It's
move.
fine. It's fine. We all had video games to play, right? I mean,
oh yes,
oh man, especially Prince of Persia, man. Oh my gosh, Prince of Persia. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit.
We'll talk about that. Corey,
Yes.
I don't know if you paid attention, but if everybody has seen our new logo, our design that Corey designed, I had to make one at work. Like, I had to make a little poster of it. So I got the Power Block podcast, and then this says the Boss Rush Media. I got like 11x14 poster of it. I'm like, I love this thing. So I'm just like, I gotta get a poster of this one because I love it so much and everything.
It's there. A lot of work has gone into a lot of this stuff over the last couple of weeks. I'm excited that this is all done. I'm going to be honest with you. Well, most of it's done. It's almost done. The hard parts are done. But I mean, yesterday I sent you a bunch of stuff for the store, and it's all uploaded to the point where like I had to stop because I hit the daily limit of 50 uploads. And I like to the point where I was like, quote unquote, editing old images to upload the new ones. So like some of the old Boss Rush Media stuff is gone. Like the main logo is still there, but some of the vertical logos and the horizontal logos and stuff, because like I really love the Boss Rush Media logo, but we don't really use that in our marketing, at least our current run of marketing, right? It's the Boss Rush Network, which is a branch of Boss Rush Media.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, I'm the only one that really loves the logo and really has like some sort of affinity and connection to it, right? I mean, you do too, but you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So I just, I quote unquote edited them into some of the new Pow Block logos, the colored Pow Block logos, which I think a lot of them turned out pretty nice. So I'm very excited about that, to be honest. The store has like 50 designs on it now that you can purchase from, or like 5 designs of different various color schemes, I guess.
Yes.
So
and
yeah,
I think, and that's why I call it like it's a new season, because I feel like with the changes, even with the logo and everything, it's like
you and the season stuff, man.
Because it feels like see, you do it with Destiny and everything. Like Destiny has the seasons.
It's because they are seasons. That's a seasonal game. This isn't a seasonal.
And that's why I said I feel like sometimes this is like a new season, because it's, I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's season 8 or anything. Probably like, ooh, good googity moogity. If that'd be something. That'd be like around
the way you throw around the term season. It's like season 302,
season 3, season 30 or something. But I just say that's how I feel. Okay. But
Mm.
yes, I love the design. Everybody, please go check out the store. Uh, Corey,
Yes,
what a weekend it's been. Oh, good googity
it's
movie.
been something.
Oh,
I bought a bunch of shirts and a hoodie from the store.
I
Uh,
I brought a heater. I paid $70 for this heater. For my room and everything, and it's doing well. I got it on medium. I haven't turned it up high or anything because I don't, I just want to, just keep it at a point where my room is not overly hot, but it's
mhm.
warm enough to be like, okay, I can sleep well. I don't have to worry about, the cold and stuff. But man, it was a day. I mean, not so much a day, but Friday, um, we ended up losing power around like 1 o'clock at our
Mhm.
store. And I'm like, okay, guess everybody you have to leave the store and everything. And everybody left and we still had to work in the dark and then it came back on. Okay, fine. Found out that night around like 8:40 the power was flickering on and off. So another manager had to tell everybody to leave. Um and by the time it got, it fixed itself and corrected itself, the store was closing.
Mm.
So it's just like we pretty much got paid for not really doing much and everything
Mm.
because it was like it has been a slow weekend. Like no one really has been coming out in the weather to get stuff or anything. And if they were, I'm like, please let this be an emergency. Don't come out the smug if you're trying to get like Kit Kat bars or anything and then leave the store. That's not wise
Mm.
and stuff. So,
Well,
uh,
you know, uh,
yeah.
good
So
times, good
it,
times.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, a lot of game playing I've done, and like Corey said, we're gonna talk about the Prince of Persia demo because
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that.
we have some thoughts and everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's oh my gosh, it's so good. It's to me, it's like we'll talk about it in a little bit.
yes,
We got other things to go through. So,
yeah,
and there's a lot of so there's a couple things beginning with this episode that we're going to do. One is timestamps, the long requested feature that we used to do and we stopped doing is now coming back. We're going to try to do the best we can about timestamps and all that stuff. And then obviously, kind of keep track of writing down what games we play and how we talk about them. I know people want us to talk a little bit more about games in depth. So I guess we could try to do that a little bit more than we have been. Obviously, if we are playing the same game over weeks, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but you know, there's that. And then just generalized housekeeping and plugging of our stuff because we don't do a great job of that. And so, um, Ed, I'm sure you can see I wrote a script down. I
yes.
wrote a script. Uh, so that's what I did. Uh,
Well,
I I spent the entire weekend at revamping our entire production process and writing it down in like a 9-page Google Doc and like revamping all of the run of show docs and guides, like production guides and sharing guides and all this stuff that I know people aren't going to use, but it's there if we need them. And
exactly.
preparing a like hex codes for our color schemes for the shows, and these are the official colors of Boss Rush Network and Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush podcast, right? And then doing the same thing for Pow Block and Expansion Pass, which black is not exactly a hex code; it's just black. But
Right.
I that's what I did the entire weekend, and it was a long weekend. Plus, like preparing. the script. I began the script for the Bossies video, which I think by the time this episode airs will be up next week, next Monday, or the Monday after. Don't quote me on that, but it's whatever the last week of January is, I think, is when we're going to try to get it up. So Laurent and I have been working on that nonstop. And Stephanie has been, putting a lot of work into it too. So it's like, man, we got to record the VO for that sometime this week or next.
That's what I've been waiting. I'm just like, what did I do? Because I know I'm probably gonna be voicing for best Nintendo gamer.
I have a bone to pick with you, by the way.
What?
Maybe off air, because I don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
But it's about a certain game you fought for, and then you voted, and this game you fought for has a big old goose egg of votes. So I fought for you on this. I listened to the segment. I defended you on this, and you didn't even vote for it. We'll fight you. A little backhand with the ring on.
plus 5% hit critical hit.
Critical hit. Super effective.
Right. We'll talk about that after air, because I'm trying to be like,
oh man, I gotta put that timestamp down. That was a good
there's so much just been going on, and yes, everybody, we have our nomination episode of the Boss Rush podcast. It's 3.5 hours, so get your food, get your snacks. If you can listen to it at work, it will help you pass the time. Trust me, it's a interesting discussion, and yeah. just give it a listen.
Yeah. Anyways, Ed, do you want to talk about this housekeeping?
Yes. Well, let's get into the housekeeping. PAX East 2024, Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network are headed to PAX East. You will be able to find us roaming the show floor. So if you're there, come say hi. We will be covering the event as part of the media, demoing games, conducting interviews, and recording the podcast or two live from the event. So make sure you keep your eye on bossrush.net and our YouTube channel for that. PAX East is taking place in Boston, March 21st through March 24th. So get your badges now and come say hi.
Yeah.
Yes, and Corey, we got the Patreon. We got to talk about the website and, do our YouTube plugs. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushMedia. Sorry, everybody. Patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you could get our supplemental show expansion pass 2 weeks early and our ad-free and other perks like early access to other podcasts, voting rights, and more at the tier that's right for you. Again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network.
Yes. So that's we've got a lot going on, Ed. Got a lot going on. It's it's exciting times. PAX is coming up. Some number of us will be there. It could be as few as 4. It could be as many as 9 or 10. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna, hopefully do our thing there and be a part of the show. And yeah, I have a ton of shirts I'm excited to wear. So
yeah, I gotta order my stuff because the Midwest Gaming Classic is coming back, and I really want to go there and promote Boss Rush and Nintendo Power Block and stuff. So I'm gonna try to go do a 2-day event there. So I gotta make sure that I could check out everything and hopefully talk to people. And just like really talk about retro stuff and why it's still important and everything. So hopefully I could go out and to the convention. That's like I said, that's the one thing I really want to do. I really want to go to a lot of conventions and events and stuff, and meet just different people and talk to them about gaming, entertainment, and more and stuff.
Yeah, that's another reason why this year is a big backlog year for me, because I want to do more stuff like that instead of buying games. Although I said I was going to hold off on Prince of Persia. I don't know if I can. It's so good.
Yeah,
It
there's
reminds me of the feeling I got when I was playing Metroid Dread for the first time.
uh-huh.
I mean, it's not quite as good as Metroid Dread, but it's almost there. It is
we
almost
would
there.
we would get into it, but let's quickly talk about Snacktendo.
Yeah,
Uh
Snacktendo.
so Corey,
Yes.
I had Domino's Friday.
Domino's.
Yeah, I went to go order Domino's because I was gonna my schedule got changed for Friday, so I was able to leave like at 4 o'clock. But I'm like, with the weather being bad and everything, and I didn't and the highway just not being plowed and stuff, I just decided to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go home around 7 o'clock. I'm gonna order Domino's. I'm gonna pay the driver well, like tip him well and everything, and I did. Uh, and I ordered for the first time um a supreme, like one of the extra supreme handmade pan pizzas, and it was really good. I'm like, ooh, I got the chicken, like the little nugget things with some barbecue sauce. That was really good. um but I tried that handmade pan, like supreme. It was like $12, but that's fine. um and I was just so wild about it. It was just so good. I'm like, ooh.
Domino's has the if you buy two pizzas or more for like $6.99 or whatever.
But that's what I did. I
Oh,
did the 6.99. So when you change the breading and you upgrade, it's $3 more, and then it's $2 more, I think, for getting like the bread, what kind of dough that you want and everything. So I paid like $5 extra for it. Yeah, because
$5.
the chicken was just like it was still the 6.99.
Right.
So I did that and everything, and I'm just like, I know, even though they're like up the street from me, with the way it being cold and the way the roasts were, I'm definitely just like, let me tip them $5 and stuff. And everything, and yeah, it was really really good. I was super shocked and stuff. Um, and then I kind of just ate food at work and everything. And then today I bought some a chicken grilled chipotle bowl from Chili's. Really good. I took the
Mm.
avocado out and everything because I just didn't feel like having it
Mm.
and stuff.
You're
But
not
I
into the superfood, the
not really,
avocado.
not really. But Wednesday, I go for my doctor's appointment, and after that, I'm going to go get ramen, then go into work and stuff.
Hmm.
They said it's supposed to be warmer Wednesday, hopefully so. So I'm excited for that and everything.
Nice. Nice.
Uh,
Well, Ed, I had a massive. So this weekend we went to Disney on Ice, and I didn't eat lunch because the show was. We left at like 1 o'clock, and I ate a late breakfast, and I really regretted that. But on the way home, Ed, we got Casa del Rio,
yes.
and I got the burrito, and I didn't fill it with a bunch of fluffy stuff like. Sometimes I get the roasted vegetables. I didn't get that. I got the grilled jalapenos and onions, and that was the only vegetable I put in this thing. And so I got the Mexican rice, I got the refried beans, I got the chorizo chicken, I got both hot salsas on it, and then Ed, on top of that, we still had some street corn dip left over from a weekend ago or so.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I took some tortilla chips and just ate the rest of that.
Ooh.
Let me tell you a thing about street corn here, Ed. Okay, real street corn, not the dip. The dip is from Aldi. It's good. It's delicious, but it's also like, the whole thing is like a tub of mayonnaise with some corn in it. It's not even like it's more than that, everybody. It just that's generically that's kind of what it is. But man, street corn, This is incredible. Okay.
Is it popular in Ohio? Like a
No,
popular kind of? Not
no.
really.
But when we go, so I'm gonna give you a sneak peek about a snack I'm gonna have when we go to Disney World in a couple weeks, Ed.
Yeah, so
Which,
excited.
as of this recording, is 3 weeks from yesterday. So less than 2 weeks by the time this posts, because we're recording 375, which is this episode, before 374 comes out. So we're a little ahead scheduling,
Yes.
that kind of thing. It's fine. Let me tell you about the barbacoa empanadas at Epcot, Ed.
Ooh.
Let me tell you about these things.
I
They're
don't think
just,
you ever told me about or showed a picture of this.
I had them. Dude, last year I was going to, or the last time we went, I was going to send you a picture, but they were so delicious that I ate them so fast that I couldn't take a picture of them. But
Okay. Go ahead.
dude, they're like kind of spicy, but just enough spicy, and it just had super flavorful and seasoned really well. But the key is the street corn that comes with it. It comes with a little cup of corn, like street corn, with like the chunky like sea salt and cilantro and lime and chunks of onion and like this it's not chili powder, but it's like maybe some paprika on it, maybe
Yeah. Does it have like
something.
a ting of butter in it on the corn?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And so what you do is like you either open it up or you take a bite out of it first, and then you like kind of open the empanada a little bit and you dump the corn in it.
Yeah.
Ed, I tell you, it's so magical.
I'm
It's
so
so
excited.
magical for your mouth. Not even kidding. Super magical for your mouth. Delicious.
Please, I need pics. Do not bite it. Fight the urge to be like, I gotta send this to Ed. Like you like take a picture of it on your plate, eat it, and then take another picture of your empty plate and just be like, good.
Yeah. It was I can't wait. And not the only thing is, Ed, with those, the last time we went, it was the Food and Wine Festival. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know if this cart was part of the Mexico Pavilion or part of the Food and Wine Festival, and I'm like really scared that it's not going to be part of the pavilion. I feel like it was part of the festival that's not going on in the spring, because the last time we went in November. But we'll see. We'll see. Also, this weekend I put a bunch of chicken and seasoning and green peppers and onions in a crock pot and let it sit for a whole day, and just kind of made little chicken wraps out of them. So yeah, still trying to lose that weight, Ed. So, you know,
Okay.
but it was still good.
Yes.
Eating healthy doesn't have to be eating plain, everybody.
True.
Fun fact. Although bad food is way better.
Yeah.
So,
well, before we go, Corey, I don't know if I told you this, but the Juneberry, I think it's the Juneberry Red Bull, or it's I think it's the light blue can, or something. You know how we was talking about Monster with the blue, with one of their blue flavors, with Monster, and how it just like was kind of like discontinued and stuff. Man, this Juneberry Red Bull is flying out of our store quickly, and I don't know how it became so popular.
Your guess is as good as mine, man. I have no idea.
I was just like, yeah, because like a lot of people don't touch unless they do like the regular one or the sugar free one. If they do any kind of flavor ones, it is that Juneberry. It's that blue can. I'm like, why is this mug disappearing so fast? Like, when did it get popular? Like, people will buy 4 to 6 cans just to make sure that they have it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, Red Bull got to be making some money off of this just one flavor and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well,
let's get into Play with Power. Now, everybody, we're going to discuss Prince of Persia, the demo that came out, The Lost Crown. I got to say this may be a great contender for Game of the Year, but we only played the demo. We got to play the whole thing. It got a lot of great reviews and stuff. It really feels good playing. I will say that the counterattacking I'm iffy on right now because I would take a hit just to see what I can counterattack and what I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it does play good. It looks very well. I'm loving the voice acting in it. And I feel like that I'm missing something in this game story wise. And I think it's because of the portion that we played of the game. I think there's more to it. I really wish that we were able to fight the first boss, but the demo cuts off there.
Hmm.
Other than that, I do love what this game is going to offer and everything. It really is it's more of an action style game and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the adventuring because I don't think I don't know if it gave me any powers or anything. I think it just gave me everything and said, "This is what you're gonna be. This is what you'll have in the game that you'll experience." So I think once I find out what kind of powers and stuff I'll get, I'll be able to see that adventure Metroidvania aspect of the game. But it's a
Yeah.
good 2D platformer action game, definitely with that.
Yeah. I think this demo, the demo, obviously, like at the time of this recording, that's what we've played, right? And I mean, unless you bought the deluxe edition today, I don't think either of
I
us
haven't.
did.
Uh,
Um, but next week's show we'll have a lot more to say about it because this is definitely something I really want to play and talk about. Um, I think that the demo starts you off with things that you don't start the game off with just because they want you. They said that the demo was definitely a section that was kind of made for the demo,
yeah,
like especially that beginning section, right? And then like they kind of walk you into an a part of the opening of the game, and then but then they cut parts off so you have a more linear experience to just to kind of get your bearings about you.
yeah,
Um, and to me, I also think that they give you either some abilities to play around with that you don't start with. But I know as you work your way through the demo, you get things that enhance those abilities. So it's probably a little column A, a little column B, right?
yeah,
Uh, but man, let me tell you, the traversal in this game, once you like get used to the wall jumping and like the jump dash, oh, dude, this game is an incredible traversal, like just to traverse through. I can't wait for this game to like fully be out and explore. It's a pretty decently long game. I'm hearing it's like 20 hours long.
yeah. It it literally the dash part was the air definitely the air dash was definitely reminded me of like Mega Man X,
Mm-hmm.
like with the air dash or
Yeah.
X2, and everything. And I think that's what I'm getting with the feeling of this game is that it does have that Mega Man feel to it and gameplay and everything, but it still
Mm-hmm.
got that action counter attack feeling with the two blades and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you getting this on Switch?
yes, I am.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to get it.
I definitely
Okay.
think I am too. I was debating for a long time, and I'll get to this. I'll get to it more than what I've been playing. Why I decided to do that.
I'm picking it up for Switch. I know another code recollection I'm also getting.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
that
they
comes out
both
what? And that comes out not this
are,
week, but next week, right?
no, they both come out this week, I
Oh,
think.
do they? Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
I
okay.
think I think they I think that hits Wednesday and Prince of Persia hits Thursday, I think.
No,
Uh
another code comes out on a Friday because it's a Nintendo first party game. So
oh then
Prince of Persia. Well, Prince of Persia's deluxe edition came out on Monday, and then the regular edition comes out on Thursday.
Okay.
And then I think another Code Recollection comes out on Friday, which there's a demo for that too.
Yes. Um. Yes. Um. I gotta see if both of those games getting physical. Uh.
They both are.
Okay. Then I gotta put my pre-order in for Best Buy because I think
Hmm.
I'll just pick up both of them Friday when I get off of work.
Hmm.
Uh. And everything. Uh.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I'm off this Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think she gave me off this Friday because I know I open Saturday. I'm closing Sunday, and I think I have Monday off, and then I think I work Tuesday, Wednesday. I figure it out. Um, but yeah, no,
Ed
sorry,
can't
everybody.
decide.
No, I don't close this Sunday because I work from 10 to 6 this Sunday. So I don't really I don't close this weekend.
Mm.
So yeah, then I'll pick it up Friday.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about
Uh,
there, Ed?
I will say, I I do hope. I know the challenge is going to be a lot for some people because it sends you back to where you save, and if you gotta go back to like get into a boss and stuff, you'll definitely be at a save point and everything. But I'm like, if you gotta go through a lot of stuff to get somewhere and you die and you get sent back, I think that's probably going to get very annoying with some people.
Yeah, but I think they do a decent job of, especially like the difficulty levels and finding. The other thing about this too is your health doesn't recharge. You have to use like a health potion. Um,
Yeah.
and there's definitely a lot of those throughout the game. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be that big of a problem, especially if you're playing on Switch and like I don't know if you're stuck somewhere, you can kind of turn it off and walk away and come back and just restart right where you left off because of the sleep function, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be all right.
So, but like I said, I did enjoy. I will say this because I have the demo on Xbox
Mm-hmm.
uh and Switch. Xbox, I think, needs to have a games with demo section like Switch, because I could not find that demo thing for
And
Xbox.
it
I'm like,
bothers it bothers me. Just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
go
off,
ahead.
but it bothers me on Xbox that like you can go to the Prince of Persia page and the demo is not listed on the product page. Like it's just
Right.
nowhere on the product page. You have to search for it in a different section,
You
which
have to
is
go to games, and it's just like, what the heck? I gotta go a whole section, different section for. At least with Switch, you'd be like, okay, let me go to search games with demo. Let me type on games with demo, and then I
yeah.
could just even type like Prince, and then be like, okay, these are the games that have all, and that'd be like number one. Be like, okay, bam, that's good
Hmm.
to go.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's definitely a feature lacking on Xbox for sure. I mean, it's weird though because not enough. I don't know if enough games have demos to warrant that. This
Uh
is a
huh.
pretty rare case in terms of the Xbox store. I know Switch has like you can actually search by like games with demos on the Switch,
Yeah.
which is like as much as we complain about the eShop, right? That is an amazing feature that they have that they should
Hmm.
never get rid of.
Yes,
Uh,
correct.
but when you look at Xbox, like there's not enough games that have demos anymore that warrant that. It seems this is a rare thing for the Xbox.
Could
The
I?
PlayStation, I did look on PlayStation. The demo is on the product page for PlayStation, so if you're playing on PlayStation, that's definitely you know, there.
And that's why for the Nintendo Directs, if Nintendo is dropping a demo for their game and everything, we know that it'll just be like, okay, here's go the game, and then underneath it, here go the demo if you want to try it out. And
Hmm.
that's what I definitely love, you know, because I would, heck yeah, I would quickly. A Nintendo game having a demo, it's like an automatic download. When Kirby got one, automatic download, like
Hmm.
quickly,
Yeah.
and everything.
Shout
So
out, by the way, shout out to the Prince of Persia Warrior Within skin that they give you in this game. I think that's the coolest look from any Prince of Persia game. I know people don't really care for Warrior Within for some reason. I don't really understand why. I thought it was good.
Hmm.
Definitely not the worst one in that trilogy. Sorry, Two Thrones, but you're not very good. But you know, I like the way that looks in this art style. Shout out.
Yes. Two Thrones was that the second one?
Two Thrones was the third one.
That was the third one.
Yeah, it was like the light prince and the dark prince. It was,
Okay.
and then they made the weird one for Wii that was like kind of the Two Thrones, but more remixed of like, I don't know. It was weird. They tried to add motion controls to it, and it wasn't very good. So shout out though.
Yeah. Ah,
God, Prince of
goodness.
Man, the Sands of Time
That
trilogy is
that
so good.
that trilogy was a roller coaster for me because if people don't know, I brought the game on GameCube for Prince of Persia
Mm-hmm.
because I was super excited. Actually got it for free uh with another Ubisoft game which was Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Uh when they had it for no, I think it was a buy one get one Ubisoft game free. I bought Prince of Persia and then I got
Well, it came
Rainbow
out.
Six.
Didn't it come out the same day as Beyond Good and Evil? Wasn't that like the big thing? Beyond Good and Evil came out the same day as another game, and I thought it was Prince of Persia, but maybe I'm wrong.
Um, Probably because I didn't get Beyond Good and Evil till later. Um,
Yeah, if you haven't played
for
Beyond Good and
GameCube.
Evil, you don't need to play it. It's fine.
So, uh, but then like Warrior Within and Two Thrones could not find anywhere on GameCube. So I literally had to go through the Xbox route again. And I was just
Yeah,
like, wow. So like it's that's a trilogy I would probably like to see come back. All three of those games come back and everything. Um I know they are on Xbox, but I don't know if they're purchasable. I have to go ahead and look.
mm,
For 2 and 3.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. I
Uh
need to. I don't know, man. I backlog stuff, man. I have a going list. You saw my list. You saw my spreadsheet I made of my games slash backlog. So, yeah, very excited to get
yes.
that started. Of course, this disrupts everything I had planned, but that's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
I'm gonna
So
need a game to play on vacation at.
uh So but I'm trying to get through Immortals of Evium. I
Mm,
am like think 3/4 done with that, and Lost Judgment I am working my way through and everything. So once like only thing demo that I did was for the Prince of Persia
mm,
and stuff. So that's kind of what I've been working on. I am going to get more to Switch games and everything. Definitely with the announcement of Golden Sun 1 and 2. I'll be diving into that this weekend.
mm.
Also, so when I come back next week with Play with Power, definitely we have a lot to talk about. Um, but
Nice,
yeah, that's kind of just quickly what I've been playing.
nice. Quickly, huh? If the last 14 minutes, quickly. Yeah, so for me, obviously we talked about Prince of Persia. I think it's amazing. I think the traversal is awesome. I think the art style is awesome. I think the combat um I need to get used to the controls because especially like the bow controls, right? That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'll get used to it once I play more than, an hour of it, I'm sure. I played some Super Mario RPG for book club. Again, it's a charming remake of the Super Nintendo game, but also it is a Super Nintendo game and shows its age very much so, and I am very bored with it. But we're playing it for book club, and I'm powering through it, power starring through it, and yeah, it's cute. It's funny at points.
Which is
The
not for
Mario and
you,
Luigi
really.
games are much better, and you should go play those if you can. Where are those? Where are the Game Boy Advance games for those? Wait, there's only one on Game Boy Advance though, right? It's partner. No, Superstar Saga, right? Is the
Yeah,
Game Boy Advance one?
yeah.
Partners in Time is the DS, the first DS one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. And so we'll definitely would have four. No, I think five because we'll have two Paper Mario's with Paper Mario on 64 and Origami King on Switch. Uh, we would have
Thousand Year Door.
Thousand Year Door. Um, we'll have yeah, thousand Thousand Year. That's
We
paper.
have
Oh, that's
we have
three paper. That'd be
Paper
three.
Mario in 64. We have Thousand Year Door coming. We have
Yeah,
Origami King, so that's
Origami
3.
King. That's
And
three.
then
Super Mario RPG,
Super Mario RPG would be 4, and
and
then
then Mario Luigi.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga hopefully will come to Game Boy Advance at some point. Um, I don't know if it will or not, but I hope it does because those games are awesome. And maybe that game doesn't hold up as well as I remember it, but
Yeah, man,
we'll see.
there's a lot of role playing games with Mario in it.
Yeah. I've also been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom again, finding the shrines. The shrines are awesome. Shrines are these shrines are incredible. They're just chef's kiss. Let me tell you,
I haven't even did the shrines in the sky yet.
man. So Tears of the Kingdom really highlights everything, like to the max of everything I didn't like about Breath of the Wild and everything I liked about Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I liked it in Breath of the Wild, I love it in this game. And if I didn't like it in Breath of the Wild, I hate it in this game. And then there's the building mechanic on top of it, which makes everything just worse, in my opinion. Just, the building. Stop. So I've been playing that. And then I played a lot of Mario Kart and Mario Party with my kids. So let me tell you, man.
Oh, this is what I wanted to ask
You saw my comment on Twitter. Okay.
Yes, and that's why I said, "Oh, Pow Block about to be fun." I need to know the story behind your 10-old nephew,
Yeah.
loving arms.
Dude, he loves arms.
Break
He
it
loves.
down.
Oh my god. Okay, so like I let them play arms sometimes when they come over. It used to be 1-2 switch and arms. It's very much less 1-2 switch now. So the comment I made on Twitter was my 10-year-old nephew has proclaimed arms as the greatest Nintendo Switch game ever, but he's also proclaims he's the sweatiest bro in Fortnite. So take that information how you will. He's very good at Fortnite though. He's very good at Fortnite. But don't tell him I told you that. But yeah, we were just scrolling through some Switch games, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot about Arms. It's the greatest Switch game of all time." And like, they love using the motion controls and Arms, and like, they are also very intuitive with the motion controls, and it's shocking how good these kids are with motion controls specifically. And I'm like, oh my gosh! Even when we turned Mario Kart on today, they are like, can we do the controller turning, like, the gyroscope stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll have to turn that on for you. And like, they love motion controls, and it's like, it's scary how much kids like motion controls and touch controls. I can't. And I'm like, and you just kind of like forget, because we're so old and crotchety and stuck in our ways with controllers and the way we want games to feel, that like most games are designed for children and not adults.
Yes.
And so, yeah, they love Arms. They love 1-2 Switch. They love those games. And that's the reason why we got a sequel to 1-2 Switch. And they're the reason why we get Mario Party or Mario Golf or something every other year or whatever, right? I don't know, man. They are Arms 2, everybody, not for Switch. It's not coming to Switch, everybody. It's coming to the next console. I will almost guarantee you there will be an Arms sequel on the next Switch. And it better be Arms cross Punch Out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, they missed, dude. You know they missed on that one, not including Little Mac or King Hippo or like the Punch Out characters in that game. Even as DLC, like they missed, they whiffed hard. But I digress. By the way, I was watching someone play Punch Out on YouTube the other day. Where's a new Punch Out at? Can we get a new Punch Out? Can we just get an HD Punch Out of the Wii version?
Oh, the Wii version is so good.
That's all. That's all I'm asking for. It can be a $20, $30 download, $40 Metroid Prime remastered style, whatever. I don't care. I just want a new Punch Out, man. Punch Out's cool. I think as I've gotten older, I have a greater appreciation for Punch Out. Also, as like it's more of a puzzle game than it is as a boxing game. You know.
Yeah, I think that's why we're looking forward to the next Nintendo Direct, because we just at this point in time don't know what new stuff they're going to bring, like from Nintendo side or even third party. Like, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm so excited to see that.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for a Punch Out. Yes. But that's all I've been playing, Ed. And I will have some more next week, I think. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.
All right. Well, it's time for Femi News. Corey, take it away.
All right, Ed. So our really scraping the bottom of the barrel for news this week, guys. We're probably not going to have any real significant news until the Direct, to be honest, unless something breaks or some third-party stuff comes out. But our first piece of news is that Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope has sold about 3 million copies after a slow launch, according to Ubisoft reports. Ubisoft Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, initially deemed disappointing in sales, has reportedly neared the 3 million unit mark, aligning with its predecessor's performance since launch. Despite no official confirmation from Ubisoft, sources suggest the game's success is attributed to a year of eShop discounts and consistent chart appearances in the UK top 40. Earlier concerns about the game's sales were downplayed by series producer Christina Nava, expressing confidence in its future growth. While the sequel may not have surpassed initial expectations, the report of improved sales signals a more optimistic outlook compared to the previous year. So yeah, I mean, initially when we talked about this, we did say that it was didn't sell well initially, and that Nintendo, like the sources said that Nintendo told Ubisoft to wait for the next console to launch another one, and they didn't. And I fell off of Sparks of Hope pretty hard after really loving that first game and the DLC. I also think they made the movement and stuff a little bit, I don't know. I like the grid-based part and stuff of the first one, right? But this one was a little bit different and maybe a little bit too different for people who like those types of games. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But how do you feel hearing this news, Ed?
I think it's good. Getting close to 3 million in sales, even with the discounts and everything. I don't see it so much as a failure or anything. I kind of just see it as, it's a good backlog game that people are probably ended up picking up. Because even when it dropped, it kind of felt like it didn't have that much marketing. And I think so many other games were going on around that time that more people were into.
Mhm.
So to hear this news and everything, it's good to see that people are interested in this franchise still. And 3 million is not a bad number for Switch game, exclusive Switch game from a third party
Mhm.
and everything. So congrats to Ubisoft on that,
Yeah.
on just getting 3 million. And I think the number is going to continue to grow with these
Yeah.
sales and everything.
I also think there'll be some sort of definitive edition coming out on the next console, right? Or
Mhm.
like a some sort of upgrade, right? I think since that first game came out, that time between games, Ubisoft has kind of become the hey, don't buy it right away because it'll come out. It'll be on sale in 3 weeks or a month, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
every Ubisoft. We saw that with Avatar in December. It was out for 11 days and then it was on sale.
So
11 days it
yeah.
was on. So, um that's that's just the Ubisoft way, and I think with how quickly that first one went on sale, especially after Christmas, right? It dropped to like 20, 15, and $20, right? For the gold edition was 19.99 for a long time. Um I think people saw that and was like, "Well, this one I really like that first one, but not enough to pay $60 for a sequel. I'll just wait till it goes on sale." And I think that's where they saw most of their sales, right? Was the deep discounts on it. And so yeah, 3 million, nothing to sneeze at. I hope that we get a third one. I hope they do something a little bit more interesting and introduce new characters. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think adding Rayman was a cool twist. But that's we'll see. We'll see moving forward. But congratulations to them. And I don't really have anything else to say say about
Yeah.
it. So we're gonna move
We'll
on
be
to our
back.
next story here about Amiibo, Ed. Um, Anatomy studies were used to create the Metroid Dread amiibo. Yeah, this is the news you're getting, the hot news you're getting here at Nintendo Pow Block, everybody. Uh, Nintendo developer Yanaka Minoru, involved in creating the amiibo for Metroid Dread, shared insights on the figure's design. The amiibo featured Samus and an Emmy, and they were carefully posed to appear facing each other when lined up, aiming for a dynamic yet natural look. Minoru drew upon his studies in artistic anatomy to achieve this. So uh, cool, I guess. I actually think the Metroid Dread amiibos are kind of ugly. I think the Samus Returns amiibo look much better.
Hmm.
How do you feel about these? I do have a quote here if you want me
Go
to read
ahead.
that first.
Yeah.
This is a quote from Minoru. It says, "It was difficult to express it, but I think I was able to use the knowledge I learned about the human body during my student days to create a dynamic yet natural pose. It was I was very happy to be able to be involved in the process, not only creating CG but actually making something tangible." So that was that was the quote. How do you feel? How do you feel about the Metroid Dread amiibo?
I I love this. Um that you know his history and knowledge of the human body um to draw like just the way that it would look in posing. It's just so good. You don't hear that from a lot of developers. And yeah, even though this is new news and just finding out stuff from it, I just find it like I wish that we could get uh more developers talking about stuff like this. Definitely when it comes to creating art in the game. Um, of course, like art book, like I would love to see more art books for video games, and hearing developers talk about how they came up with this, the discussions that they had, and I find this fascinating that he used this history of drawing the human body. Like I've never got to draw the human body like like that to do posing and stuff and everything. And it's very exciting to hear that he was able to do this. I really think this is so cool. To just be like, how would they look? if these were two humans and about to fight each other in this kind of pose, and I just find that fascinating. Because you hear a lot. Sometimes you hear people borrowing stuff from other media like movies or anime and stuff like that to get what they're trying to go for their art direction. But you don't hear no one saying that I used to the human anatomy that I learned in school to draw, to make this picture and help use this picture, this idea to create this other product and everything.
Hmm.
And I think that's so just cool, just amazing. So I love this.
Yeah. All right, Ed. So we're gonna move on to this next story. This is probably the biggest story, I would say, in terms of the news this week. Although I do have one other story that's not on here after this. I'll add it after we read this. But Nintendo games have dominated Japan again in 2023 with all top 10 games being on the Switch. All top 10 game software sales in 2023 in Japan were on the Nintendo Switch, with the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom leading the way, followed by Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Pikmin 4 in second and third place, respectively. Here's how these games sold in Japan in 2023.
And
Ed.
just everybody, this is only Japan.
Yes, this is only Japan. And this list is ridiculous. So Tears of the Kingdom sold about 1.9 million units. Mario Wonder sold 1.55 million units. Pikmin sold 1.12 million units. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold a little over 900,000 units. Momotaru Densetsu World sold almost 800,000 units. I'm not sure what that is. It's probably some sort of Japanese only release.
Yeah, it's a famous character.
Is that cat character?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I gotta look this up now because it's, yeah. Okay. It's a Konami game, by the way, everybody. I was trying to, okay. So there are two games on this list that aren't Nintendo published. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still selling 600,000 copies in Japan this year.
That's crazy.
God, I love that game, but come on. Everybody has to have a copy of that game by this point. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe sold a little over 500,000 units. Dragon Quest Monsters 3, The Dark Prince, sold a little over 500,000 units, which is Square Enix. That was the other game not published by Nintendo. Although I think Dragon Quest Monsters is published by Nintendo. At least here, Dragon Quest Monsters was published by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 sold 500,000 units, which is a little low. I thought Splatoon 3 was bigger in Japan than this.
It is, but I think because the game came out last year.
Well, it came out. Didn't it come out last spring? Or was this a 2022 game? Splatoon 3 came out in 2023.
No, it came out 22.
3. You're right, 2022. Okay, DLC came out this year.
Yeah.
Or last year, I guess. And then, Doc, where are you? And then Super Mario RPG sold 450,000 units. So those were the top 10 of all video games in Japan. And remember, Nintendo only records physical sales in their reporting to these sales sites. So I would like to know what these digital numbers are. We're going to find out very soon, because right now, as of right now, well, as of September, I guess, Zelda has sold 19.5 million units, right?
Yes.
Physically. And so right now that would leave Hogwarts Legacy as the best-selling game of 2023 at a little under 23 million units, which is the first time a Rockstar or Call of Duty game was not the best-selling game of the year, by the way. Just going to point that out, since 2007, I want to say, 2006. So that's interesting, but also Zelda could also be the best-selling game of the year because of digital sales, and I'm sure it sold enough to beat Hogwarts Legacy in digital sales, I would bet enough money for that at some
But
point.
it, and I think a lot of people got to think about Hogwarts is once again multi-platform versus Nintendo.
Six platforms, and Zelda's on
Yeah.
one,
Yes.
which is
So
crazy.
so that really speaks about a game getting that number 20 million compared to a system getting one. Like
Yeah,
19 million is physical.
yeah, 19.5.
Trust me, trust me, Hogwarts Legacy is not doing physical numbers like Zelda.
No, but also like I don't want to take anything away from Hogwarts Legacy because it's
Oh
an
no,
incredible video
exactly.
game, and congrats to Avalanche on putting out such a AAA product. Even the Switch version, man, like
Yeah,
is pretty darn good. So, but man, Zelda has just dominated the Switch over and over again. So, uh, which if it sells over, if it gets to 23 million, it will almost be at Breath of the Wild numbers in less than 7 months, which is
I
nuts.
I think out of all games though, to my knowledge, I think Mario Kart 8 is the leading.
It's the best selling Switch game by far,
I think it's like
by
one of the
like
best
13 or
selling
14
games.
million units.
I think it's one of the best selling games just on one platform.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not
Well,
adding.
yeah.
I'm not adding multi-platform games like Rockstar or Call It. Not adding all of that. But I'm like, I think if you look out just out of all video game history, and this is just me, everybody, I think Mario Kart 8 probably has it on lock as the best selling game physically for one platform.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's where we're at in terms of sales for Japan. I mean, Japan numbers are kind of lower across the board. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
just because they have such a huge mobile scene, and their mobile scene is like, I mean, their mobile phone games are essentially console games, right? I mean, I think that's why Apple's new phones are incredibly powerful to try to at least take over some of that Japanese mobile market. Um,
Yeah.
but congratulations to Nintendo for having 8 of the top 10 selling games in Japan by themselves, and then all these games are Switch games, obviously.
Man,
So
that's mad coin. I definitely I think once they do their is it like the stockholders kind of meeting? They kind of like
this
report
must
on.
have been some sort of quarterly financial thing.
Yeah, which probably would be in March or something. I think we're gonna see like just the numbers be like, how much did you guys gross or net? Because it has to be
Yeah. Well,
insane.
yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about that now, actually, in this next story, Ed. Unless you have anything else to say about this, I would like to talk about this next story real quick.
Congratulations! That once again, just with you, congratulations, Nintendo. This is expressive. I gotta say, everybody, Pikmin 4 definitely deserves the 1 million, and I hope it continues to go up because that game is amazing. Like
Yeah.
Pikmin 4 deserves like every award that it gets, every sale that it gets. Like they did a phenomenal job, and me and Mother should be proud of them doing the work that they did for that game. I can't express it enough how I love Pikmin 4.
Yeah. It's a great game. But we're gonna move on to this next story here, Ed. This is the last story of the news, at least. I just saw this. It went up 5 minutes ago on Nintendo Life, so that's why it wasn't on the dock.
Okay.
Maybe, I guess, 15-ish minutes ago now. Nintendo is donating 50 million yen to aid the Japan's earthquake victims. For those who don't know, Japan was hit by a pretty large earthquake over the weekend, devastating 7.6 on
How
the
did I
scale.
miss this?
Um,
About the earthquake. How did I
yeah,
miss it?
yeah, it's following the footsteps of the Pokemon Company, which the Pokemon Company also made a large donation. Nintendo has announced it will donate 50 million yen to the Red Cross Society after a devastating 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck the country the country's Noto Peninsula earlier this month. As part of this, Nintendo has announced it will provide free repairs to anyone in disaster zones, and then they released an official statement and everything. The Pokemon Company also donated 50 million yen, and other Japanese video game companies like Square Enix has also shown their support to earthquake victims. This was from Liam Doolin on Nintendo Life. Was this story?
Mm-hmm.
Our thoughts go out to those affected. Obviously, obviously Japan is no stranger to earthquakes. Remember the big tsunami and earthquake that hit, about a decade ago. That affected a lot of studios then also. So this is hope everybody recovers. It's good on Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and the Japanese video game space for donating and helping where they can. And I thought we needed to address that as well. Obviously, this will have been long over by the time this episode comes out, but we should still discuss it.
Yeah, my heart goes out to all of them. Glad that Nintendo and other companies are helping with relief with their donations. I didn't even know that this happened.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see no one. I didn't even see like on Twitter that anybody was talking about it and stuff. And I'm not trying to be ignorant or anything. If I would have seen an earthquake, I would have clicked on the story and tried to read up on it.
Yeah. There's also like way too much garbage on Twitter now that starts trending before important stuff. So
yeah,
not that Twitter is the greatest place to be looking for news, especially with all the things that we follow and people that we follow, and then those people follow and get retweeted and reposted and talked about and quote tweeted. It's just, I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just Twitter's not the greatest place for news anymore, like it was even half a decade ago, depending on who you're following. So, I would say about a decade ago. It all changed when someone was running this country, at least. But anyways, that's I just wanted to talk about that real quick. But Ed, we have some rumors. We have some rumors I would like to talk about, mostly not because I believe them or anything, but mostly because it's funny about who started this rumor. 90s kids, put your earbuds in, start spinning that CD player, put your anti-skip on. The Switch.
Ooh, did you have to say that?
I did.
I remember that. That is a throwback.
Yeah, man. Anti-skip was revolutionary. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Remember when you had to like hold? I mean, when you moved from cassette player to the CD player, you had to hold your CD player shut and like even so it wouldn't skip. And even if you like walked wrong, it would like, the CD player was made for the car and nothing else. It wasn't made for jogging or running or working out or anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, anti-skip.
And I remember buying the Sony Walkman where they had the CDs and everything, and they would make sure that they had anti-skip on it.
Yeah, the Discman
as a marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then remember when companies first started selling the rewritable CDs that they were trying to advertise that the CDs were anti-skip and not the players? I'm like, that's not how that works, guy.
Right.
Marketing person. Whatever. Anyways, back to 90s technology. Switch 2.
Sorry, that was just such a throwback.
I know. The Switch 2 release date has seemingly been leaked by none other than Game Shark. For those who don't know what Game Shark was, if you're too young to even know what that was, it was a device that you put on your N64 or your Game Boy, and I think they even made one for disc-based systems at one point that plugged into your memory card slots.
Wasn't there one for the Saturn? Was that the same one that you could do the Japanese games?
Yeah, it went in the memory slot in the back. and then you plug the memory card, the giant cartridge, the memory cartridge into that. AI Shark, the parent company of Game Shark, has revealed their company's companion accessories have a release date alongside, quote, Nintendo's next console, end quote, in September, which is when most analysts have circled on their calendars for the Switch's successful release window. But why is this news coming from Game Shark? This is an interesting strategy to stay relevant because Game Shark hasn't been relevant in 20 years.
It did. The president or one of them came out and said that's not true. They don't really know, but they were just like estimated guess.
Yeah, I'm like, if your stuff is ready for September, also it's the end of a quarter, which is usually about when you release new product is the end of a quarter, especially one right before the holiday season.
Right.
You know,
And I don't even think there's a Game Shark for Switch or anything.
Dude, no, there's no. I don't know if Game Shark's even making products for that kind of stuff anymore. But I would imagine these would be things like accessories, like maybe a charging case of some sort, or if they're using some sort of Joy-Cons, again, maybe they're third-party Joy-Cons that charge, by laying them on a, like the cordless charging phone chargers and stuff like that. Maybe it's that kind of thing. It's definitely not a Game Shark, right? So I don't know, man. This is
I dumped so much salt on. We were talking about this in the chat, in the writer's chat, and I was just like, I just put a truck full of salt being dumped. I'm like, there's no way that Game Shark would have the release date of Nintendo's next platform console. I'm like,
I mean, most accessory holders would have probably some sort of idea of like a time frame. Because if you remember when the Switch released, a lot of those accessories were releasing in February, right? Like the mid to end of February, and it was launching in March. So I think accessory holders probably know. But at the same time, man, it's Game Shark. It's AI Shark, man. They are more in the technology and building AI companions for PC related things now, and not necessarily console related. So,
and why would y'all spill the tea on Nintendo, not like Microsoft or Sony?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, if they had something NDA'd with Nintendo, Nintendo's probably not very happy right now.
Oh no.
So I just thought it was funny. I just wanted to bring up Game Shark for the first time since maybe the Dreamcast, because I had a Game Shark for Dreamcast that plugged into the controller's memory card slot, and it didn't work. So
only thing like I had was like a Game Genie for the Super Nintendo for Secret of Mana, and that yeah
Game Genie, man. Game Genie, Game Shark. I don't know. It was funny. There's also another story that I really do want to talk about, Ed, in a more serious fashion. There's been a lot of podcasts and articles floating around out there about the idea of Xbox going full on third party. And it really bothers me in a way as somebody who's invested in the Xbox platform for so long. And this comes on, this is relevant because the rumor, and we might actually know by this time next week, by the time this episode airs, that the rumor is that at least Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves may be coming over to Switch, which we talked about last week. But there's some rumors that Microsoft might start bringing their their games to PlayStation and Switch also, and that the Xbox will just be a delivery mechanism for Game Pass at some point. And I don't know how I feel about that. I have thoughts, and I thought about doing like an editorial video on the YouTube channel about this, and I think I still might do this. But And I'm not asking if you think this is real or not. I'm asking what you would think about this idea.
So I
Because
in
I
a business,
already know you have a dump truck full of salt ready to pour on this story.
no, actually no. In the businesses, it with physical and digital sales, like if they want some of their games to have sale numbers on it and not player install numbers, I could see Microsoft having that option to do it. Now, this is the thing that everybody has to understand. They're third party and they're people that they already bought. That were already third party.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Xbox Game Studio. You're not going to see Gears or Forza, or you're not gonna see that original Xbox IP that Microsoft made. You're not gonna see it on
Mm-hmm.
anybody's systems. Now, I can understand Hi-Fi Rush. Sea of Thieves is also will be a surprise one because
I
Sea of
mean, Sea of Thieves
Thieves,
is also old, right? I mean, it came out in
right?
2017, 18, 2018,
It
2017.
and and where is a company that was already made that they bought from. You know,
Mm-hmm.
all the people that they got all of these studios from, they really brought. Unless it was actually created under Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
then everybody else, I could understand those games coming to other platforms because they were already third party or second party independently.
Mm-hmm.
So Hi-Fi Rush could make sense because GameWorks or Tango GameWorks, they were already third with I think the evil I know the evil within, but I think the Bethesda produced that, published it.
Bethesda did those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so Ninja Theory, they had they were just a developer company. They were independent,
I,
but they
yeah.
also were making games like
I
they
mean,
were under Sony. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you brought up Ninja Theory. Arguably, Microsoft's biggest announced exclusive so far, and Hellblade 2 was a PlayStation exclusive at one point.
Yeah, like
I mean,
they caught us off guard with hell with
mhm.
them purchasing Ninja
Yeah,
Theory.
because Ninja
Like,
Theory, like, I mean, they had made a PlayStation exclusive before in Heavenly Sword, which was an awesome kind of God of War ish
hmm
stylized action game, right? And obviously, Devil May Cry was heavily associated with PlayStation when they did
enslaved,
the reboot, and Enslaved was that was really the only one that you wouldn't kind of associate with the PlayStation brand at the very least.
right? And
So yeah.
like, yeah, like Ninja Theory was in almost like in the platforms kind of way of business, platform platinum games, where they were kind of being hired to work because they didn't have their own games. They didn't own their own IP until they made Hellblade. And once they made Hellblade and that game got came out for PlayStation, I think it was already out before Microsoft brought them.
Hmm.
And once they acquired them, it was kind of just like, wow, they went and got Hellblade on all platforms. Microsoft
Yeah.
did, so it's not surprising if this happens that the games that come out from the companies that they brought would be seen as third party.
Hmm.
Uh, Even Minecraft was not originally a Xbox on
Hmm.
IP until they brought them. So I could see this if they want to put their games on other platforms. That's good revenue in business for Microsoft
Hmm.
because they're recouping money that may have they may be losing out because people are not buying their games physically or digitally because of Game Pass. Yes, Game Pass is an install base, a big one, which pays $15 a month, but that sometimes may not recuperate the cost of that
Hmm.
development of their game. If they know they can make some money off, if they can hit just even 2 million physically off a Nintendo Switch,
Hmm.
Microsoft will be proud of having that, because that, let's just say that recovers maybe 30 or 40% of that development cost or whatever. Don't know how to do the math with that, but let's say that is good for Microsoft. That's money in their pocket
Mm-hmm.
compared to them getting a player base and everything that subscribes to a service. And if it's already third party stuff because they put those games on Steam. They
Yeah.
put their games on, even though they own Windows, Windows Gaming. If it comes to Windows Gaming, it's likely going to come to Steam. That's
Mm-hmm.
money for Microsoft. So it's not out of the question or out of the blue or anything. Not saying wild or anything crazy that they put their games on Nintendo or Nintendo and PlayStation. Call of Duty's gonna be that way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's for 10 years or whatever, they could put anything on there, but they're not gonna put their own IP on other platforms and stuff. Look
Yeah.
how we treated. Look at. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, finish because
Oh,
my rant's gonna be kind of
I
longer.
mean, look at Ori and Cuphead. Like, even though
Mm-hmm.
those games exclusively came out to Microsoft, Xbox was hoping that those games would be recognized as Xbox games.
Mm-hmm.
Cuphead had a trailer of a man dancing and stuff when that Nintendo Direct came out. How the heck that get more attention than a game that had been in development for plus 5 years on their console?
Yeah.
Ori, they were just like, I hope this game comes to Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And it came, and look at the money that game made with the sales. Definitely with the collector's edition. Like, people went out and bought this stuff
Mm-hmm.
than just playing it on a service. They consider Cuphead didn't even do. I don't, and this is just my assumption. Everybody, I don't know how Cuphead did well on PlayStation, if it did or not. But when you think of that game and you think of Ori, you think of Nintendo. So it's not out of the question of why those games that Microsoft has, even though those two games are not Microsoft products, it's not out of the question that Microsoft could put some of their games from the third parties that they brought onto other platforms and make some money off of them.
Yeah. So I don't think this is gonna happen at least soon. If it
Mm-hmm.
does happen, what I think they might do is whatever the next whenever they if and when they decide to do this part of it, right? They're going to have to do some things on technology wise on the back end. They're going to have to merge the Windows gaming store and the Xbox store. First off, right? They have to just say this is the Xbox store, it's on PC, it's on Xbox. Um that what they're going to have to do is make sure that the gaming experience, and I mean the entire experience, that
Mm-hmm.
includes the store, that includes purchasing games, that includes like some sort of cross buy and cross save situation across platforms. They need to figure out how to make the Xbox and the Windows gaming stores the same store. They need to figure out how to make the games run across the board the same way on the same style of hardware or software based emulation or something. And I think the only way they could really really truly pull this off, and we're seeing it with the ROG Ally, right, where they have the window, like a Windows based handheld PC has their Armory crate. The ROG Ally has the Armory crate, which has all the, if you have games on Windows and Steam and Epic and Blizzard and, maybe a Bethesda launcher or a Rockstar launcher, wherever you buy games from, GOG, you go to the Armory crate and all the stores are listed right there. And you can just go into those launchers and play the games from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only way I could see this truly happening in a real way is if Microsoft took that same approach and have a very customized Windows based Xbox branded set top box for the living room that would deliver that armory crate type experience, and it would have to be an open platform. The Xbox, you can still buy your games through Xbox, through the Xbox store, which would also be the Windows gaming store, right?
Yeah.
But they would count across platforms. So like if you turn on your Xbox One and downloaded, Halo 5 or whatever, it would be the same download that you would do on the PC side of things. They would really have to merge those experiences to make them feel like one experience, not the PC, because like right now the Xbox PC gaming experience is like, it's pardon my language, but it feels a little bit half-assed, like part of the Game Pass experience isn't there. Anything prior to Xbox One really isn't there. There's no way to play like the Gears trilogy on there, right? I mean, I assume the Coalition has some sort of Gears collection coming out this year, which was another rumor floating around yesterday and today, that they are internally testing a Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment collection internally. There's no way to play games like Lost Odyssey on PC. All these 360 games that are just lost unless you own them physically in a 360 or they're backwards compatible on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X consoles, right?
Correct.
So there'd have to be a lot of R&D to make some sort of really simplified custom Windows experience that would cater to Xbox players. And they would really have to figure out how that back compat would work through a Windows based platform. But that's really the only way I could see it going, is if Xbox made a set top box that goes under your TV that is a very custom Windows experience branded as Xbox, but have an open PC style marketplace to where you could play your Steam games on it, to where you could play your Epic Store games on it. Your GOG games, your Blizzard games, and really let people have that choice, because that's the ultimate end goal of what they're stating in their marketing, right? Is like, we want Game Pass and Xbox games to be on every screen that they are allowed to be available on, right? And to truly do that, you're going to have to merge the PC experience and the Xbox experience and make that one truly cross-platform experience. And then you're going to have to open it up, because so many PC players want to play their PC games on TV, but unless you have a Steam Link or you bring your PC out and hook it up through HDMI in your TV and play through big picture mode, and even that doesn't work a lot of the times, there's really no way to do that, right? You have to sit at your desk hunched over on, hopefully you have a big enough monitor to play these games and whatever, but I think you're going to have to truly merge those experiences, and really just that message is, hey, Xbox is a platform now. You can play it on this Xbox branded set top box. You can play it on PC. You can play it on Switch. You can play it on PlayStation. Xbox is an experience now. No matter where you play, no matter how you play, through the cloud, on your phone, on TV, right? That's really the only thing I see happening if they do that. But that is such a huge marketing hurdle to do, that plus, like, you want the boxes in stores. They're not going to carry a box that's not going to sell physical copies. I mean, you see, when was the last time you were in a store and saw a huge Xbox section? The Xbox section is like as big as my desk in most stores now, because of digital sales on Xbox. I mean, we just saw that Limited Run wasn't even publishing games on Xbox anymore, because Xbox players don't buy physical copies for the most part.
Shoot, we didn't even know that they started or anything.
Well, you know how I feel about Limited Run, so
I think
which really stinks, because they're rebooting Rocket Knight Adventures, and I can't buy it because I don't support Limited Run.
This is the thing about it. I think if we just read it as third party with Microsoft going in, um, if we look at it as a console kind of focused thing,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft would have to have development kits for those systems for all of their
Mm-hmm.
developers. Now, Sony will less likely to give them one.
Well, that's why Minecraft doesn't have a PS or an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 version, is because
Right.
Sony won't give them the dev kit for a PS5, and maybe that'll change with the new leadership over at Sony, right? But they won't give them a dev kit for PS5, and they promised parity, so they are keeping that promise by not making an Xbox Series X version of Minecraft, which
Right.
is the ray tracing, the 120 frames a second, 4K version of Minecraft.
Right. But I think if they were going to come to third party for any console, it's going to be Nintendo. Reason being, Japan. They'll have better sales in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're on a platform that has over 100 million or even over 50, we just we just did a big number of Nintendo games in Family News.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Microsoft could be getting that coin from them when Microsoft is like when Microsoft Series X is in ninth place underneath the 35 2DS XL
Mm-hmm.
sales and
Yeah, I know.
consoles,
I know.
that's insane month after month. So
Yeah.
if that was going to be the case, Microsoft will go to Nintendo and be like, hey, we want to make games for your system. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we want to put Minecraft, but we may want to put some other stuff. Nintendo is going to give them a development kit. Why? Because they know that that's good sales for them in Japan. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
good sales in Europe and America. It's not saying we don't need Microsoft, because I think we do need Microsoft. We do need Xbox. But if it's people who are not into the Xbox ecosystem, if they feel like they could get if they could get an experience, not a similar experience, just an experience about a game that the community is talking about and reviews are good about, they are literally going to probably
Mm-hmm.
play it there at that. Like a Hi-Fi Rush physical version, that's going to be bukus of money. If that
Yeah.
cover looks really good and that happens, and it's not a code or anything, that's going to be good sales.
Yeah.
Japan would literally eat that up if they was getting that, because it's a nice animated style and it may be something cool that they would get. Microsoft is not dumb. Nintendo is not dumb. They know the business. They know the
Mm-hmm.
money that could come out of it because of gamers. If
Yeah.
Sony wants to miss out, then let Sony miss out. Microsoft is not worried about the technology that Sony is doing, because Microsoft could always do their own thing and be more
Right.
advanced if they want to. They
Yeah.
have the pockets to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I think the one advantage Microsoft has is that they are a software company and a subscription
Hmm.
based company. So like, even if you put a set top box under a TV and said it was an open platform, basically, right? So you could play your Steam games as well as your Xbox games on there, right? You Game Pass isn't on Steam. If you are a Game Pass subscriber, you still have access to all those games on Game Pass, right? And if you are an Xbox player, you're still going to buy your games through the Xbox store if you are that passionate about the brand, right? You're not going to buy, go rebuy all these games on Steam or Ubisoft Connect or whatever else whatever else is out there. And then Microsoft would have the benefit of if you sell your games on other platforms, you could still say, hey, you know, just an example, it's not coming to PlayStation, right? But Hellblade 2, right? If you're a
Hmm.
Game Pass subscriber, you can buy our Xbox branded, whatever they're going to call it, Xbox or a PC, kind of like, what they do now, right? You can play it on Game Pass, and this is what they essentially do with Steam, right? Or you can go to Steam or PlayStation or Nintendo and buy it for $70,
Right.
and I'm talking myself more into this as a interesting, cool idea now, and I kind of actually like the idea. I just wonder if Microsoft would have the balls to pull it off. And I wonder, and maybe this has been an internal discussion already, and I'm sure it has. And I wonder if how the pros and cons outweigh each other. And as time goes on and you see that PlayStation has outsold Xbox almost 3-1 this generation,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the sales of, Minecraft being 8 times that of it on Xbox, and, Sea of Thieves doing so well on PC, like, are they having these the very real conversations of, let's
It's
explore that idea? And I kind of like it now
it's
that I'm
all the
talking
possible.
about it.
It's all the possibilities that could come, that could happen, and the
Hmm.
pros and cons that could come out of it. Because in reality, I think there's going to be more pros than cons. Look, Sony. Sony gonna be like, we don't want Forza on our system, because who wants Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo on one system? Like,
Yeah, I mean, and that would be Sony's problem, right? And that
right?
could be like a pro for Microsoft's marketing beat, right? Like, yeah, we want to
But
put all these games everywhere we can, but Sony didn't want it because they have Gran Turismo. So you can buy Forza Horizon 6 on Nintendo, you can buy it on Xbox, you can buy it on
you
PC, right?
you listen, right? You
Or you
literally
can
think
do
it's
Game Pass.
like Forza Horizon and Mario Kart on Switch. Of course, Mario Kart was gonna do numbers, but people are not gonna be like, man, I could take Forza Horizon on the go on this OLED system or whatever, and it's like 70, 60, or 70, or whatever
Hmm.
Microsoft wanted to charge. Oh heck yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
I'm talking about their next consoles
Yeah,
and
no,
everything.
I get it. Yeah.
Like, you would have not only a bomb driving game, or like arcade game with great music and licensed music stuff, and people want to have it with Forza, but then you also got Mario. Like, Microsoft wouldn't Microsoft is not in the competition thing with Nintendo. They are in the compliment
Hmm.
thing with them. Like, Mario Kart and Forza Horizon on their next platform.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
people will literally buy it.
Hmm. And I think the test bed for this idea lies in the ROG Ally.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly think that Armory Crate system that they use to separate the stores out, but you can still access all your games from each of these stores in one location. I think that is the key to unlocking this idea. The 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 hard part, or in my mind, the hard part would be convincing Xbox owners that this is a good idea. Like, the casual Xbox owner, or the hardcore, I guess, maybe, that opening up the platform like that would be a good idea, and putting these games on other consoles would be a good idea.
And,
And then the other hard part would be, well, how do you deal with the original Xbox and Xbox 360 games that aren't backwards compatible? Would be the
man,
other kind of
Sega,
thing you'd have to tackle.
Sega's a big example of going from first party to third.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
things that happen.
this is a little bit
It's a little
different though,
bit
because
different,
as the
but
Dreamcast was considered a failure,
right.
the Xbox is more profitable than it's ever been, despite how little console sales they've had.
But I think it's just getting an idea of how do you go from first to third. Not saying that Microsoft is
Hmm.
doing that, because
Yeah.
they want to do, I think they want to do both, but to understand how transition of that, and Sega's kind of like the best example, because like when Sega went to third party and started putting their games on other platforms, they became profitable while still making arcade games. So
Uh-huh.
they were still making hardware, but they were making hardware for arcade games and some pachinko games. And so
Hmm.
that's why I'm saying Sega is just an example. And look,
Yeah.
Sega bought one of the biggest role playing games. Like, what the heck is Atlas is doing under their name? What the heck is Sega Sammy, but really Sega. Like, Atlas
Hmm.
under the Sega name?
Hmm.
That's insane. And Atlas had been independent for years.
Yeah.
They
You
were
have
their
to
own publishers and developer. Go ahead.
you have to give it to Sega, man. Like, they were,
Yeah.
I mean, after the Dreamcast, they had no idea what they wanted to do. And the fact that, I would say a decade later, in the early 2010s, right? Like they really had a goal and a message and this is what we're aiming for. And you look at them today, 20 22 years after the Dreamcast, like Sega is as dominant, even more dominant than they've ever been, I would say. Yeah,
Thriving.
you really gotta give it to Sega, man. They know what they have, and we did that as an expansion pass, but I would almost like to revisit that topic at some point. It's like, what if Sega went back to first being a first party and making their own piece of hardware? Because they like it's more fascinating now than it was when we talked about it. So go
Yeah,
listen to that
and like
discussion. Expansion pass, everybody. That episode's free for everybody.
yeah, like and Sega is. Now we're going to move on to the next section, but Sega is not only did Nintendo, GameCube, and other Nintendo products help Sega stay alive. Sega is thriving big time because, like I mentioned with Atlas, the stuff that they got on Xbox, the stuff they did with .mu, like with Streets of Rage 4,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Virtual Fighter being like on PlayStation for a good while, and seeing how that goes. Like, um, some of their mobile stuff, but like Sonic still, whether there's a good game or bad game, on how that's still going on. Mario Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, like how big that sold on Wii. Like
Yeah.
Sega has a roller coaster of good and bad, but thriving because they've been successful in so many things over the years. The Sonic movie, the deals they got with Platinum Games for like Bayonetta and the other one, it starts with a V and I cannot think of
Vanquish?
it. Vanquish. Like it amazes me that a company whose business started out as first party came third party. It's just still making it. And of course
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft would do the same thing. They would still make it, but they know that their first party stuff that they own comes first and is still important, and then everything else could be put on other systems and be treated as third party, and it would still make bank, and they would thrive in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of
I'm,
possibilities, pros and cons.
and I really think that's how, if they did it now, their messaging would have to be almost perfect and their marketing would have to be like really perfect surrounding this box. But
Mm-hmm.
like, if they could somehow pull that off, make an open platform Xbox, uh, that would connect to your PC in a seamless fashion. It would almost be like turning on a Windows PC over here and then logging in on another Windows PC over here. It would essentially be that, right?
Yeah.
And get all that working where somebody could play their Steam games and their Xbox games and I'm telling you, the key is in that armory crate. They could really blow this whole thing up and do something revolutionary in a way. This would almost be the equivalent of like a VCR or a DVD player. I
Yeah.
mean that and then you could like license out the Xbox brand to like ROG. Maybe they would help design the box or whatever, and it would link to your ROG ally. This is a topic I want to revisit at some point. Maybe either at the end of the year or maybe after the Xbox Summer Showcase or something, because I really want to revisit this topic because I think it's
Yep.
fascinating.
I think this is going to be a good expansion pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, and
and maybe
even
we
though
would
it's
have LaRon on to like kind of because
yeah,
obviously he has a ROG ally and he's very familiar with Armory Crate and he's a PC guy anyway, and maybe we
yeah,
would have him on to kind of talk us through if this is a dumb idea or not.
let's put this as an expansion pass.
Yeah, put a pin in it. Speaking of speaking of expansion passes, this is maybe something we should have one on as well at some point. There have been more industry layoffs, Ed, and not insignificant ones. Unity has laid off 1,800 more employees after their fallout over that kerfluffle last year. Obviously, their
Uh-huh.
CEO, quote unquote, retired after that issue and left it, to whoever was left to deal with all this. Unity's going through a massive, massive, massive restructure now because of that small statement that they made that ended up blowing up, right? For those that don't know, they were going to start charging per download, per install of Unity based games and all kinds of other things that were just very bad for developers. And then Discord also laid off 170 people this past week. The layoffs just keep happening, and it seems like it's going to get way worse before it gets way better.
Yeah, Twitch
And
laid off people.
I
Uh,
I feel bad for people who get laid off. I mean, there's a lot of things that, I mean, layoffs. I think about being laid off every day, and I don't even think I'm in trouble to be laid off. And that's something that's in the back of my mind all the time. And
hey, I
I
heard.
hope all these people land on their feet. There's a lot of, I mean, obviously, Unity people have a lot of engineering and engine backgrounds. Maybe they could go to
Mhm.
Unreal or somewhere that builds these engines and insert their expertise. Discord, they came out and said we overstaffed too quickly over COVID, and that was a big mistake for them. And
Hey,
hopefully, these people
I've
find footing.
I've been through 2 store closes, so I know the feeling of them.
Mm-hmm.
About the layoffs and stuff. Like, I know what they're going through and
Yeah,
everything. And it's so weird that Unity laying off all these people, and then you find out Ubisoft, the developers used Unity to make Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's just
yeah,
like it's surprising.
yeah. So hearts go out to those affected. I hope everybody lands on their feet. Um, Obviously there are resources out there. I saw people tweeting out um, resources and everything. So just follow the right people. I'm sure you'll find something. LinkedIn is also a great source recently. So, all right, Ed, we're getting into Pack Watch. These
Yes.
are the games that are coming out the week of January 25th. And they all come out on the 25th. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Join rookie
Yes.
attorney Apollo Justice and his mentor, the legendary Phoenix Wright, and his collection of 3 games. This title features the 14 episodes of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. And 2 previously DLC only special episodes for a total of 16 episodes. I would like to play the Phoenix Wright games first. The Also on the 25th, Hidden Through Time 2: Myths and Magic. Join Clicky on a new enchanted adventure in Hidden Through Time 2: Myths and Magic. This charming 2D hidden object game is sure to delight with its playful tone, cozy vibes, and endless fun. Search for all the hidden objects scattered around the beautiful hand-drawn worlds and unlock more as you go. The last game here is Hitman Blood Money Reprisal. You are Agent 47, a trained killer caught in the crosshairs of a rival agency, the franchise. Embark on a daring mission to take out a shadowy conspiracy's lethal architects and employ every tool at your disposal to get the job done while keeping a low profile. This is the 3rd game in the original series of Hitman games. There was Hitman that was on PC only. There's Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. Blood Money is the 3rd game, and then Absolution was the 4th game. There was also Hitman Contracts, which was a remixed version of Hitman 1 and 2 levels.
Was Blood Money on PS3 and 360?
Mhm. Blood Money
Okay.
and Absolution were both that generation.
Okay.
And then obviously we got that stellar Hitman trilogy, which is now just called Hitman World of Assassination, and it's all three of those games in one bundle now. So you can check those out. Those are on Game Pass still, by the way, which is I'm shocked. But that's it. That's what's coming out. Excuse me. Should we get into question block, Ed?
Yes, let's get into question block.
All right. Our first question comes from the One True James via Discord.
Yes.
A number of first-party Nintendo Switch games are seemingly going out of print. What do you think?
Well,
this tells me that the next console is coming out, is what it tells me, sooner than later. And a lot of these are older games. I don't know if you saw the list, but it's stuff from like 2017 through 2019. So like Link's Awakening and Mario Odyssey, and games that maybe people have bought or should have purchased already in the last 5 years or so. I'm not saying this is like good. I think it kind of sucks, but we know how Nintendo is in inventory management and everything. So
yeah, I think it's a normal thing that Nintendo or any video game company does, unless it comes as the greatest hits and stuff. And see those go out of print.
Did you see the Nintendo Selects was trending the other day?
Yeah. But I think it's since those games been out for so long and they have already been sold and stuff, definitely for retail space, they gotta stop carrying those because in retail they do a reset and video games are included. So sometimes they put out new spaces for those games that's coming. I think if you want those games physically, you need to get them now, or you need to order them from Nintendo themselves. Because once they're done, and then you're trying to look for that physical within 2 years or 3, you know how resellers like to jack up the price. So
especially first party games.
Yeah,
especially hard to find first party games like that. I would be shocked if in like 10 years that Link's Awakening remake would be closer to like, I mean, just look at the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remakes, how much those shot up on the Wii U. Now, granted, there definitely weren't as many copies out there because of just console sales in general. But like, I mean, Breath of the Wild for Wii U the price has shot up significantly. So
I was looking for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for you. Shoot, like I'm lucky I was able to get you Bayonetta 2 from Walmart.
Yeah,
like when these games go out of print, they go out of print. Yeah. So, they're there. If you want them, get them when they come out. I said this about the Mario collection. When everybody complained, well, it's going to be 6 months. I'm like, you better buy those games within that 6 month timeline if you want them and everything. Because if they say they're gone, you can't act like they didn't give you enough time to buy it. So it's a Nintendo thing. It's a first party thing, and plus it's just a physical. If you really want the game and everything, just buy it digitally.
Yeah. Also, like especially if Nintendo's next console is iterative and not necessarily something extremely different like it has been the last few consoles, right? Like, if you absolutely need these games and you can't find it, I would imagine that the digital purchase is okay at this point. I would assume that Nintendo's eShop is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I don't know though. I say that, but I still have all the games that I want physically, just in case. Which is crazy. I was looking at my eShop, like how many games I have based on like purchasing digitally or studio review copies or just friends that work at these studios giving games out. Dude, I have like 280 something games on the Switch digitally, and if that store goes out, I'm if what happened with the Wii U and the 3DS happens with the Switch, like I made a huge mistake.
Exactly.
So, but I still I have all the games that I love physically. So, Zeldas, Xenoblades, Fire Emblems, Mario's, Death's Door, Shovel Knight. The good ones. Metroid Dread, Metroid Prime. I try to keep a good library of physical games. So, with that being said, our next question comes from Blake via Discord. What do you want from a Switch successor? Ed, I'll let you answer this first.
Um, I don't. I think what I want from the Switch successor is, I don't want delayed games for the Switch successor, and what I mean by that, if a game is coming out for Xbox and PlayStation at the same time, I want it to be on Nintendo's platform. If it gives them the power for that to happen, I would like that game to come out on all three platforms at the same time. I don't want it. I don't want we'll release it on here, but delay the Switch version or the next Nintendo version 9 to 10 months later because we're trying to get this game ready. I don't want that for this successor. Um, that's money being missed out, and that's still another risk of you not having sale numbers. Um, if your game is reviewing good and stuff. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you know that Nintendo successor console can provide the numbers and sale numbers that you as a company need, you need to treat that one equal like the other systems and put it out on their system on time. If their system is powerful enough where you don't need a port company to help you make this game, then that needs to happen too.
Mm-hmm.
I know people were complaining about if it's only as powerful as the PS4. I'm like, even if it is, guess what? I want to see the Tomb Raider trilogy reboot on the system. Like I want to see stuff on that console that we know more people would have gave it a chance if it came to a Nintendo platform. Um, so with their uh outside the technical aspect, I just really want developers, if they're going to put the games out multi-platform and Nintendo gets named, I don't want Nintendo to be left out when the game comes out. I really want them, if Nintendo got to get delayed, the other two systems need to be delayed. And don't say it's about money or anything like that. Because that still gives me the idea that not only do you not believe in Nintendo and their product, it's that you use Nintendo name to get recognition. And then you just really going to start on that project once the other two come out. Because that happened, like Dying Light 2 got named for Nintendo. We still haven't seen it. Not even heard a peep from it. And I don't know how well it did for Xbox and PlayStation and everything. But that game got an upgrade for the other two systems and still nothing for
I thought
Switch.
Dying Light 2 was a cloud version.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, but it never got released. They
Um,
never updated anything about Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch version about it.
it's out. It came out in February of 2022. The cloud version.
For Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought when did it originally come out? Because I thought
Release
Dying Light
date
2 came.
Release date February 4th, 2022. Dying Light 2, Stay Human, cloud version, Nintendo Switch.
That got delayed.
It's on Nintendo's official website, so I don't think it got delayed.
That's interesting. Then
I'm
they
literally
really did
on
not promote it.
Nintendo.com /games.
Wow. I thought they delayed it uh from it. Okay.
So unless Nintendo's website is wrong.
It has to be because I remember that thing
All right.
getting
I'm searching
delayed.
for it on my Switch because I have it in front of me. You owe me a pizza if I'm right. On top of all the other things you already owe me.
Right.
Oh man. Well, while I search for this, what I want from a Switch successor is literally I want them to hold on. I can't talk and type at the same time because I'm an idiot. Dying Light 2. Um yeah, Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Right. It says Down Like 2 Stay Human is a 2022 action role playing game developed and published by Techland. The game is a sequel, blah, blah, blah. Released for PlayStation 4, 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series on February 4th, 2022. A Nintendo Switch Cloud version is in development. Because someone is Dying Light 2 going to be on Nintendo Switch?
Interesting. Well, this is I'm shoot. I don't okay. Well, then Nintendo's website is wrong cuz here's what I'm looking at. I just sent it to you via text. So maybe they canceled the Switch version, which is fine. I don't really care, uh but while you look at what I just sent you from Nintendo's website, I think the Nintendo Switch successor needs I if it isn't an iterative console like I think most people think it's going to be, I think they need to pay very close attention to what Steam Deck in particular is doing. And, obviously like the ROG Ally and stuff in terms of power, storage space, memory, and this thing needs to be more powerful than these things at the get-go. Now, granted, that's still a PS4 Pro level power, right? But you got to shove a PlayStation 4 Pro into a handheld device, which is not difficult these days, but also probably not the easiest thing to do to keep costs down. And so I don't know how that's going to happen. I know Nintendo wants to keep it around $400, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
It also needs to be backwards compatible. That is non-negotiable. You're pushing eShop, sales, you're pushing, NSO, right? Subscription based content. You're pushing, friends and playing with friends and online stuff with Smash Brothers and stuff. It has to be backwards compatible. That is non-negotiable.
And they said they was going to try. That's what the president said with NSO, that when the next system comes, they're going to try to make it easier to transfer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no choice. We
They,
pay for that squisher for a year with all our cloud information.
yeah. They also need to, if a game, they also need to do some sort of, and I think they will, based on what Nvidia has been doing with their AI the last couple years, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. They need to do some sort of upscaling, AI upscaling. They need to do some sort of, frame rate boost, which will just come naturally for most games if they design them that way, based on, just how powerful the console is. Specifically the Zelda games. I love Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Especially Breath of the Wild, man. There are some frame rate dips that just are not. Man, it's rough. Especially now that you have consoles that can run at 120 frames a second, no problem. But other than that, I think they have to have some sort of storage on board. I would say at least 256, I would say 512 would be the sweet spot for them in an SSD that you can replace at your own will or own pace. Has to be backwards compatible, has to be compatible with Switch's accessories in terms of like the Pro controllers and the USB kind of GameCube Smash Stick, whatever you want to call them these days, controllers, that kind of stuff. All needs to be compatible, and I think you need to launch with an OLED. And you got to fix these Joy-Cons, man. You got to have some new form of Joy-Con on these controllers because these things, they suck. The Joy-Cons suck. That is not an opinion. That is a fact. They need a proper D-pad on one of them. You know, that you need to at least sell a variant that has a D-pad on it. But that's my opinion. That's what I want to see from a Switch successor. Backwards compatibility, power, onboard storage that makes sense, and accessory compatibility. Especially if it's just an upgraded Switch, like your Pro controllers already say Switch, right? Xbox does it. PlayStation doesn't, which is weird. But Xbox does it. Switch should be able to do it. And I'm not saying like docks or anything. Like it will probably have to have a new type of dock because it's not going to have the same. It might have the same form factor, but it's not going to be as thin as the Switch is, right? So you're probably going to have some sort of new docking station that comes with the console, hopefully. But in terms of controllers and chargers and stuff like that, should all be compatible. All right, Ed, our last question comes from Delvin Cox, our friend of show. He asks, how much do reviews and social media viewpoints affect your opinion on a game?
So it really doesn't play a part on my opinion of a game. I do love seeing everybody's opinion about them, good and bad. I do reviews about certain games, but like definitely for me, I would purchase a game and I would make my opinion, or if I put out a review, I do try to be fair, and at times I know it seems that it's biased, or I don't like a game because of my opinion of a developer or publisher or whatever. But it doesn't, like other people outside reviews and opinions don't affect how I feel about a game and stuff. Even when there's controversy surrounding it, I want to see the final product for myself, and if I get something out of it. Of course, the way that people feel about David Cage, and his situation and stuff, didn't deter my feelings for Detroit Become Human, or not Heavenly Sword. Goodness, so let's just beat it too. I cannot think about it.
What do you like?
We were just talking about it. I gotta
Detroit, Beyond Two Souls, Heavenly Rain, heavy rain,
yeah.
heavy
rain, yeah.
Jeez.
Like it doesn't deter the fact that I enjoy those games and what came from them, and stuff. I think my opinion definitely my opinion that goes out there for some games, whether people agree or not and stuff, doesn't deter what I think about a game. Look, I trash Grand Theft Auto 5 and trust me, but people love that game, and I respect them for that, and I've learned throughout the years how to be fair and when to recognize when some stuff is questionable content. Corey, you have gotten on me about that, and I don't know if I approved or not. And stuff, but but I before I make a big judgment on the game and stuff, I do go out and buy these games. When The Last of Us 2 was getting knocked, that didn't sway me for trying it out for myself. You know, because I did a review for The Last of Us 2. I thought it's definitely a better game than the first one. I did have some problems with it, but the way that people were clowning that game again on it, it didn't deter me from me enjoying what I played of that game. Yes, it's longer as ever, but I love the stuff that went into it, and I think Naughty Dog did a fantastic job for it and stuff. Now, I could put stuff out there like I've 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 got dogs about Mario, Paper Mario and the Origami King. Trust me, I've got dog. But my thing is that I'm getting dog because I chose to play a game that I definitely enjoy. And I think if people will play a game and see it for themselves, their opinion or their review will probably be different and everything. People don't like um the last not the last story the last Guardian on PS3, I mean PS4, and I love that game even with the ups and downs that game had. It was that story, it was the music, it was the richness of seeing it. I was just like, man, this feels like a Nintendo game but developed for Sony, and it's so good and everything. And like, regardless of what people thought about my opinion, I enjoyed the game. So I don't think people outside's opinion or reviews for me affects on how I feel about a game until I actually play it, and I want to play that game. It's and give it a fair. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna play something for 15 minutes and be like, "Oh, this is trash" or something. I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to play it hopefully all the way, yeah, unless I'm having like not lyrical. I'm having technical problems with it, and I'm just like, this game is not. This game is questionable content. I will put it like that, and stuff. But yeah, that's my answer for this question.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion has obviously changed over the last decade or so that we've been doing this, with each other or not. I used to love listening to what other people thought about games, and like to an extent I still do, right? I listen to a lot of video game podcasts, but it's more about the personalities and the inside jokes and the news and whatever the topics they're talking about are, instead of like what they think about the games they're playing, right? I've really I really kind of came to that conclusion, I would say. I really started thinking about that in probably about 2020-ish, of like, okay, well, people say they like these games and I try them and I don't really care for them. What is really, I really thought down and sat down and thought about how I thought about what other people thought about video games. And then it really hit me in 2021, I would say, is when it really hit me that I really just don't care what other people think about video games. When I said Outriders was my, Halo and Outriders were my games of the year that year, and everybody like laughed at me and thought I was an idiot because Outriders was a joke. I'm like, Outriders is awesome. Like, it's incredible. I don't know what you
Yeah,
guys want.
people still think I'm insane because I made Metroid Other M my game of the year.
Yeah, well, you should go to the doctor and get checked out for that. No, I'm just kidding.
See,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am also of the opinion that Metroid Other M was not as bad as people said it was. I am also a Metroid Prime Federation Force defender. So when that game came out, we were talking about it, Ed. Like, I defended that game. My only gripe was that it was on the wrong console. Was my gripe
yep,
with that game. And I think everybody else they didn't give it a chance because it wasn't a proper Metroid game, and we hadn't gotten a real quote unquote Metroid game in like, since Other M and Metroid Prime 3, right, at that point. So I don't know. I just don't give a hoot. We'll say that word, hoot, of what other people say about that. Like at this point, I know what I like. I know what I really don't like. There are exceptions to that rule. That's what Game Pass is for, is to try games that, is to experiment with games that I may or may not like. And if I like them, I will buy them. And if I don't, then I will just delete it and not think about it again, And, that's what that's what I did with Death's Door, right? Like I've tried it on Game Pass and I liked it. And then I purchased it on Switch and played it on vacation. But it's just one of those things where like you have to, yes. And again, this is more for a younger generation is the one that really pays attention to influencers and people's opinions on things, like I'm sure we both did when we were younger, right? Like, I mean, when we started content creating, I was 26, 27, I'm 37. I'm going to be 38 this year. So, your thought process changed, your opinions change. I mean, do people care about what we have to say about video games? I don't know. I don't care. I'm here to talk about my opinion. And if you like it, then you like it. And if not, also you learn to identify with creators and podcasters that you like, and you kind of just lean that way to listen to them anyway. So that's my thought on it. I really don't care if other people like games or don't like games. I love the Assassin's Creed games. I love the direction they're going. People online say they hate them, yet Valhalla is the best selling game in the series at like 18 or 19 million units. So I don't, whatever. People say they're sick of Far Cry. Far Cry 6 sold 13 million units in a year and a half. So opinions are opinions, and there are a vocal minority out there that have a platform to say their opinions, including us. And it's up to you if you want to listen to that opinion or not. And at that point, you should just try it for yourself. If you're unsure, wait for a sale. Don't spend a lot of money. Subscribe to something like GameFly. That still exists, right? Todd Oxtra from Secret Friends brags about it all the time, about his GameFly super subscription. By the way, I love Todd. He's the only reason why I know GameFly still exists. I'm going to be honest with you. He posts it all the time, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like
shout out to his wife for writing for the Teen Titan Comics. Like, huge shout out to her.
Yeah,
icon, legend. Yeah. I call her. I like iconic queen.
Yeah. We'll have to do a collaboration with Co-op Mode soon again.
Yes.
But that's my opinion on that. It's not that I don't respect people's opinions. I like listening to what people have to say about video games. My thought is that I just don't listen to them to form my opinion on video games. If I did, I would be playing a very different set of video games and maybe not enjoying my gaming time. So,
yes.
Well,
everybody,
that's what I got though. That's questions.
Any final thoughts, Corey, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just at the beginning of the year we kind of discussed that we want to have this section maybe be a little bit more meaningful than it has been. I just want to talk about how great the Switch is and how much I've grown to appreciate the hybrid nature of the console over the last 7-8 years at this point. I mean, we're going into year 8 of this thing,
crazy.
And I get so frustrated when I can't play my Xbox games in a proper handheld way, without spending another extraordinary amount of money that I don't want to spend. Like if I would love to have a ROG Ally and play my Game Pass games or Destiny in a handheld capacity, right? I'm not spending $700 on a handheld device when, the Switch does a lot of the same things. Not in terms of like having those games and Game Pass and stuff on it, but like the fact that I can take it out of the dock and play it and plug it into the dock and I can play it on my TV and it still looks relatively good depending on what games you're playing, right? Like I played the Prince of Persia demo on my TV on the Switch and it looked perfectly fine. Now, granted, the Xbox demo looks significantly better, but if you wouldn't have ever shown me the Xbox demo, I'm not sure I would have been able to tell you, oh, this is, oh, this is clearly the Switch version. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so, and then, you play stuff like Death's Door and Link's Awakening on there, or you find experiences like Arms, for my nephews, or the Switch is just, it's made me really appreciate the versatility and the uniqueness of the software. And I hope Nintendo continues down this hybrid path in a meaningful way. Don't just give me another Switch, right? I want it to be meaningful. I want an iterative console that is impactful, right? Like the Xbox One X to the Xbox Series X was an impactful change. Frame rate boosts, SSDs, load times are down, smart delivery. Those are all meaningful changes, right? But it still functions the way the Xbox did. And so, whatever's next for the Switch and Nintendo themselves, I hope it is a meaningful iteration of this console because this type of device means so much to my lifestyle, my life, the way we create content, right? Like it's an incredible device and I if there is no handheld component to the next Nintendo console, I'm going to sorely miss that. It will be very upsetting for me. So, but that's my final thought, Ed. It was very drawn out and very lengthy and very personal, but I think we take what the Switch does for granted in
Mm-hmm.
2023 and 2024. Um, just because we've had that access for so long, and I want to give it its due, and not that like 130 other million people haven't already done that, but you know what I mean, like voice that opinion and voice that appreciation.
Yes. Well, my final thought is that I'm excited for. By the time you guys see this, the developers direct have already happened, but I cannot wait to see directs for 2024. Definitely for Nintendo. Like they are the company that brings the most unexpected. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. But they do produce good enough games for us to talk about. And Corey, I had this thought that came to my mind that Fire Emblem Awakening was getting remastered or some kind of remake, and that was going to be like a gang that's going to be on the Nintendo Direct. Like, just thoughts about Nintendo Direct of games and possibilities of stuff that's coming to that show. It's just been popping in my mind, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store. Because not only is it going to give us an indication of what 2024 is going to look like, but once again, I miss having events where the community, where it's social media or everybody on Boss Rush, get together, watch, and talk about it. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
wait for that to happen again. And I love it when it happens with the Nintendo Direct. I'm so excited to see that happening. And I kind of, like I said, I kind of want to have one for the developers direct, and I kind of want to have one for the state of play because I love events when it comes to gaming, and I want to like participate and see more of that happening this year. I'm super excited. But February Nintendo Direct, I hope that happens. I'm ready to have my mouth on the floor. I'm ready to text you like it's crazy. I don't know if you're gonna be on your trip when they drop it, but you know how what happens
Look,
when you on a trip
I'm
and the
taking.
direct happens.
I hope you know I'm taking my laptop and a tiny microphone with me in case that happens. I hope you know that
Okay.
because funny story, my new computer that I have for work now
Uh-huh.
has the ability to link my iPhone camera and microphone to the laptop so my sound quality will be better.
Oh,
So we'll be
nice.
able to. I'm taking the laptop for sure. Obviously, I'm taking my phone, but if something happens, I will find a quiet space to record. Even if my kids are asleep, I will go to because my parents are going to. I'll go to their room and yell real loud, and they'll be annoyed, but it's okay. But we will
Yes.
have to. Do you okay? Last thing before we get out of here, Ed. Do you think they're going to announce the next Switch, the next console at the next Direct? A lot of
No.
people seem to think that that's going to be their one more thing at the end of the Direct. I'm like, you guys are betting way too much on this
No.
next.
Nintendo is trying to get that 160 mark for Switches.
Well, I
They're
mean, I
not
assume
about
the
to.
Switch will sell well the next couple of years, especially if it's an iterative console, right? Because the kids will
Right.
be able to play it. And I wonder if there'll be like a DS to 3DS type situation there, right? That would be my guess is that like, oh, there's still going to be Switch games come out, and yeah, they may look and run better on the next console, but they're still Switch games.
No, because they're customizing their next system and they're ready, and I think the chip's gonna be cheaper. I think that's what they're waiting for and everything. And I don't think a lot of developers and Nintendo themselves have a lot of games ready to go just yet. I think they're trying to get a big lineup, at least about 20 games ready for their next console. So uh
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the thing about it. So I don't think they're gonna announce it, and they wouldn't announce anything if they were gonna announce it. We were gonna get another developer or the thing they did in Japan. Because today, I think today was like the anniversary of it or something at the time of this recording, and it got me thinking. Uh, just like I think they're gonna do that again when their next console comes out. When they get ready to announce it and stuff. I think they want to present it to the Japanese crowd, and we all watch and see what they have, and then go forward with it. Because the next Mario game, they already did Wonder, so I think they're waiting to still get that together for their release for their next console for 3D and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
mean,
then
it's either going to be that 3D Mario game or that new Donkey Kong game that they've
yeah,
been rumored to be working on. I don't think you launched the console with a Donkey Kong game. I'm sorry.
mm-mm, no, I mean, and I think Monolith Soft and Retro right now are in the top spot of who's going to show their next project first. Is it
Mhm.
going to be Monolith Soft because they done with Xenoblade Chronicles 3? They're done with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, well, that
Are
next
your
Zelda
next?
game's
Are you,
like that's
yeah?
so far
Are
away. I don't even know what
are
year.
is your new IP is ready to be announced, or Retro? You and Nintendo ready to show it? We got our fill of Metroid Dread. You've seen the response with Metroid Remaster. Is it time to show Metroid Prime 4 to get the buzz talking?
Yeah,
Because I already know, Corey, if they if they drop the last story in Pandora's Tower, I'm texting you right then and there. I don't care if you're going upside down on a roller coaster. When you get off, you better look at your messages and stuff, because I'm going to go. And if I don't care if that game or those two games, it's just a digital release. If it is, and we could just download it right after the Nintendo Direct, oh, I'm spending coin to get them.
yeah. Look, last story is incredible. I mean, we talk about Lost Odyssey all the time on the Xbox side of things. This same studio that made a Wii exclusive that nobody played called The Last Story. It's an action RPG. Incredible story, incredible characters. It's something that everybody should try to play at least. So yeah, Pandora's Tower, not so much. It's okay. It's good. It's not great, but yeah.
I'll take it.
This is the year of remasters. I'm telling you, everything. There will be a couple AA Nintendo experiences like Princess Peach Showtime, but you're going to get Metroid Prime 2 and 3. You're going to get at least one of the Zelda games, if not.
I need that Skies of Arcadia to drop.
I mean, that's been
stop playing around with me, Sega.
I mean, that's been rumored, right? The Skies of Arcadia HD version at some point, right? Like, you have all kinds of Wii and GameCube games you could look back on and try to do. You could still technically do each of the like at least Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 HD versions of those separately from that collection that they no longer sell for some reason. So that would be my thought, is that there's going to be a lot of remakes and remasters this year, and this is going to be the last hurrah of Nintendo Switch. Is going to be Nintendo's greatest hits in HD. That's
well, your GameCube thing already came true, so why not? That's what we're going to have to talk about on the Expansion Pass.
I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead, go, because I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm just. You're going to see the remaining Wii U games make it over now. I think that's a shoe-in. I think you're going to get both Zelda games this year. They're not going to be a package, but you're going to get both of them. You're going to get Xenoblade Chronicles X because, excuse me, because Monolith is working on their new IP, right, and their new game. And they're going to, obviously they put Bat and Kados out last year, but this is, I'm telling you, man, Star Fox Zero. Excited. Everybody strap in for a Star Fox Zero remaster.
I am excited. So, well, with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. I know we had a packed episode, but this episode was discussion heavy, and I enjoyed it. I love this episode.
Yeah.
Everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Tell your friends, like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.